Hey guys, back into the video. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the top 10 recruiting classes in all the country for college football. And I'm going to be going through the most surprising class and the most disappointing class. Not the top 10, just all around. Well, let's get into these top 10 classes. Number 1 is Alabama. They have a 25-man class, 4 5-stars, 16 4-stars, and 4 3-stars. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, with these names, some of them I may butcher. I'm going to apologize in advance for that. I'm not particularly good with names. I'm not a name genius, so. Alright, let's get back to this. Now, Alabama, they have the number 1 player in all the country in running back Najee Harris from California. They also have the number 6 and the number 8 player in Alex Leatherwood, a offensive tackle from Florida, and Dylan Moses, the number 1 outside linebacker, also from Florida. So Alabama, they have a great chance to get the number 1 overall class, and they're definitely going to be in the top 10 by the end of it. But in order to fight for the number 1 class, they had to fight off Ohio State, number 2. Now they only have a 17-man class. 6 5-stars, 10 4-stars, and 1 3-star. And they have the number 9 and 10 best players in all of the country, with Baron Browning, outside linebacker from Texas, and Josh Myers from their own backyard in the state of Ohio, number 3 offensive tackle. And they also have the number 1 offensive guard in Wyatt Davis. Ohio State, now I don't know how many players they can take, because I don't think they lose a lot of players this year. I don't think they had a lot of seniors. They could lose a lot of players to the draft. We'll see what happens. But Ohio State, not only do they have the number 1 player in their own backyard, but they also have the number 1 player in the state of Maryland in Chase Young, and the number 1 player in the state of Nevada in wide receiver Lindsey. I forgot his first name. So don't get on me about that. I just forgot his first name. But his last name's Lindsey. I remember that. Still, Ohio State, they keep getting players like this. They're going to take that number 1 spot from Alabama. And they're still in it for a bunch of guys. Georgia's got the number 3 class. It's a 20-man class. They have 2 5-stars, which are Richard LeCounte, number 2 safety in all the country, and number 7 offensive tackle, and Isaiah Wilson. And they also include 15 4-stars, the best of which is DeAndre Swift, running back from the state of Pennsylvania, the number 1 player in the state of Pennsylvania. Took somebody right out of Penn State's backyard. Now that's hard to do. And they also had 3 3-stars. That's the one that has 3. Try saying that 3 times fast. Yeah. Oh, and the thing with the 3 stars, they might be 3 stars, but a lot of these guys, they're like, the 3 stars, that's what fills out most classes, because those 3 stars, they're not instant impacts, but you groom them into starters. A lot of these 3 stars, they end up being the best players on the team. Well, not for these classes, but for a bunch of teams that are outside the top 10. That's what happens normally. But anyway, back to the top 10. The 22-man class of Oklahoma takes the number 4 spot. Now, they don't have any 5-stars, but they do have 16 4-stars and 6 3-stars. And I'm trying to keep my voice level down for this one, so sorry if I go in and out of loudness and quietness, but I'm trying to work on my voice right now. So, they have the number 6 offensive guard in Tyrese Robinson, the number 13 safety in Robert Barnes, that was the Dryer, and the number 4 inside linebacker in Levi DeBray. I think that's how you say it. But Oklahoma and Georgia, they're both going to be in it. I think Georgia is going to be in the top 5. Oklahoma, not so sure because they don't have a 5-star. But that doesn't mean they won't get one. There's still some 5-stars that are not committed just yet. Michigan has number 5 class with the 22-man. They do have a 5-star. They have 13 4-stars and 8 3-stars. Their 5-star is the number 1 player from their own backyard in Donovan Peoples-Jones, number 11 player in all of the country, and the number 1 wide receiver. Michigan's got a great player in him. And they also have the number 4 pro-style quarterback in Dylan McCaffrey, who's from Colorado. Who would have thought? Yeah, he's going to be a great addition to them. And they have the number 8 weak side defensive end in Lejeune Villain. I know I butchered his name. I'm sorry. I'm not good with that. So let's just keep going. LSU. They have 1 5-star. That is the number 1 safety in all the country in Jacoby Stevens. Jacoby Stevens, And yes, I'm reading from my book. I do that a lot, so I gotta do that. But they also have 13 4-stars, the best of which is number 9 offensive tackle, Austin DeKellis, and number 3 defensive tackle, Tyler Shelvin. So they have somebody. So they have somebody in the backfield to be a ball hawk or be a box safety. I'm not sure what he is yet. They have an offensive tackle to protect the quarterback, and they have a defensive tackle to stop the run and hopefully terrorize a quarterback. And they also have 8 3-stars. I don't know if I mentioned that. But LSU, they're definitely going to be in the top 10 because they only have a 19-man class. They can still take some players and expect LSU to contend for a top 5 class. Expect that. Okay, Texas A&M, it's a 26-man class, no 5-stars, and they have more 3-stars than 4-stars. 10 4-stars, 16 3-stars. This is a class that has number 10 wide receiver in Jamon Osborne, who used to be an LSU commit until he flipped to Texas A&M. Probably because the quarterback, his quarterback, Kellen Mond, is also going to Texas A&M. He's the number 3 dual-threat quarterback. They both play at the IMG Academy. And they have the number 1 inside linebacker in Anthony Haynes, who had 90 offers. 90. You ever hear of a player having 90 offers? I haven't. Well, I have, but not till this year. That's what's crazy. But Texas A&M, they're just about done, and I just don't see them being in the top 10 with more 3-stars than 4-stars. I just don't see it because a lot of classes, they're going to move up. 2 that come to mind is Stanford. They only have 8 people. And Southern California, they have, I don't know how many. I think it's about 13. 13 or less. I can't remember the exact number. But those 2 are definitely going to move up. So somebody's got to be out of the top 10. I think that's going to be Texas A&M. One of them. Notre Dame, they have an 18-man class. They're number 8. They have 11 4-stars and 7 3-stars. They have the number 2 and 3 tight end in all the country. Sorry, guys. Trying to go through this. I'm trying to remember a lot of this stuff. And Brock Wright and Cole Mitt. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. He's got a K. I'm thinking that's silent. Not sure. But those are the second and third best tight end. And they have the number 4 offensive guard in Robert Hainsley, also from the IMG Academy. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, the IMG Academy, they have some of the best high school recruits in all the country because they take these players from anywhere. They can take them from any state, bring them down there. And a lot of these kids, they just end up going back home. All right, that's what a lot of kids do. They'll go down there, they'll play for a great team, and then they'll just go home. Go home for college, and that's what's great. And I like it. I really do. And it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But getting off of that, Notre Dame, they have to keep getting players, and I think they'll be in the top 10. If they don't keep getting good players, they're not going to be in the top 10. Notre Dame's coming off a really bad year, so a top 10 class could really help. Now, Auburn is number 9 with an 18-man class. Their 1 5-star is Calvin Ashley. This is a guy that you have to keep a look at because he's looking around. He is looking around, and without him, this could fall out of the top 10 because they have 8 4-stars and 9 3-stars. Now, they have the number 1 junior college player in former Baylor player Jarrett Stidham. I know I said that name wrong. I'm sorry. But like I said, he's a quarterback. He's going to help out Auburn because Auburn, they need help at the quarterback position. They really do. They need to find a true quarterback. They need to find a true guy that can lead this team. And they also have the number 3 inside linebacker. This is a name that I know I'm going to get wrong, so I'm just not going to say it. You want to find out his name, look it up. But he's number 3 inside linebacker. Like I said, this class, it all depends on what happens with Calvin Ashley. If he flips or not. We're going to find out what happens. And Clemson has the number 10 class with a 14. They only have a 14-man class, and they're in the top 10. They have 2 5-stars, 9 4-stars, and 3 3-stars. Their 2 5-stars are the number 2 wide receiver and the number 2 pro-style quarterback in Ty Higgins and Hunter Johnson. So, you have your quarterback, and you got a receiver. That's pretty good. And the number 7 corner is their best 4-star, A.J. Terrell. In Clemson, they're going to be in the top 10. They only have a 14-man class. They still have a lot more players they can take. I mean, Clemson and Ohio State have the lowest number of players in this class. Well, only half of these schools actually have less than 20. So, look, there's still a long way to go in this process. There are going to be decommits. There are going to be those that flip to these schools. I'm just doing this right now because the early enrollees have already started to sign with their schools, including the junior college players. I think all the junior college players have committed, or most of them have committed, signed the letter of intent. They're a done deal. But the early enrollees, they can also sign. It's not just junior college players. It's also those high school. There's also high school players that are early enrollees. All the players from the IMG Academy, they're all early enrollees pretty much. So, that's it for the top 10 classes. I know I've wasted a lot of time right now. But the most surprising class, it's probably Maryland. If you think back to the Etzel era, take a look at those classes. Because those classes, they're filled up with maybe one high 4-star, 5-star guy. And then a bunch of guys that wouldn't even get Power 5 offers. And that's the thing. Etzel just did not know what he was doing, Big Ten recruiting. He didn't know how to recruit for the Big Ten. And that's why Maryland, you take a look at the players in Maryland's, on Maryland's team this year, it's a wonder how they even got to 6-6. But now you have Durkin. They have a top 20 class right now. And yes, it's a 26-man class, about a 26-man class. And they're still in for a bunch of 4-star guys, and Anthony McFarland, Tyree Castro-Fields, Ellis Brooks, and a few more. And they're one of the schools that are trying to flip Calvin Ashley because he's in the D.C. area right now. So, we'll see what happens with that. And the most disappointing, it's got to be Baylor. Last time I checked, Baylor, they only have one player from the class. And at the beginning, it looked like Baylor was going to have a great class because they originally had Mon and Osborne, but they lost them because of this scandal that happened. The scandal that happened with the former head coach being fired, losing half of the class from 2016, and just about losing everybody from 2017. They only have one player right now. The new head coach, he's got a lot of work to do. And again, we'll see what happens. Alright, that's it with college for now. I'll see you guys next time.